Hey everybody, it's Producer Jay. So Misha was wanting me to cover a few guns that are a little bit outside of his purview. So guns that are not typically military, but are also very common that people might be interested in seeing our opinion on. So today we'll be taking a look at the Kel-Tec SUB2000, also known as the SUB2K. This one is in 9mm and it takes Glock 17 or G22 mags. So you have a variety of mag options out there. But before we start getting into the nuts and bolts of this gun, let's do some shooting. So there you saw us shooting a couple of different ammo types, mainly Wolf ammo. This gun has been 100% regardless of the ammo that I've tried in it. Different steel, different brass. I've tried hollow points in it and they cycled just fine. So I don't have anything bad at all to say about the reliability. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this one takes Glock 17 magazines. You can see there, 17 or 22 mag. Right now I have Korean 33 round magazines in there. Sorry, 31 round magazines in there. And it's worked fine with the Korean and the original factory Glock mags. I've had no issues out of either. The really interesting feature of this gun is the takedown mechanism. And by takedown, I mean this is actually on a hinge. All you do is push the trigger guard down and the fore end rotates over and locks in. So for storage, for throwing in a pack or a backpack or anything, if you're traveling, camping, hiking, what have you, this is a nice little fairly compact package to be able to throw in a bag and to travel with, which I believe is this gun's main appeal. It's quite light, pretty handy, very slim, and pretty much all the things that you would want in a traveling companion piece like this. To open the gun back up, I should say, you just push this out, and then the little carbine just swings back open and locks into place. That, of course, was the main reason why I wanted this, is I kind of got obsessed with takedown guns for a bit. I got this, the Ruger 1022 takedown, and an SU16, which we'll talk about in an upcoming video. All kind of have a takedown mechanism to them, and I just think it's cool. I think it's mechanically interesting and neat. I think takedown guns are pretty cool. This one is threaded 1/2x28. You can see I have just a little compensator in here. It normally comes with a muzzle device. I just have it tightened down real tight and Loctited on. It does have accessory rails, standard 1913 Picatinny rails, which I just have some rail covers on. You can put a top or a bottom rail on, or accessory on. If you put a top accessory on, that'll interfere with the takedown, and I'll cover that here also in a second. Its bolt hold open is a simple HK or MP40 or whatever you want to call it style, where you just cock it back and lock it in the rearward position. So, you know, not a super modern style bolt hold open. One of my biggest complaints is on the sights. Now, I'm recording this with my phone, and I can't get the phone low enough to actually point down the sights. So it is quite, the sights, even though they look tall at a distance, I actually find them to be quite low. So you really have to kind of scrunch down on the sights to see down them, which isn't great because back here your cheek is going to be right on this essentially buffer tube. This is where the bolt slides back. So you have all this spring and all this mass moving, just slapping you right in the cheek every time you pull the trigger. Now, of course, with the pick rail on top, you can throw any kind of red dot on any kind of height you want, and I would suggest going with a taller dot for this. The problem is, if you go to take it down and you fold this over the top here, you can't have any kind of red dot on there. So you're going to have to remove the optic in order to put, basically to use the carbine for what it is meant to do, which is sort of that takedown function. Now, the stock is somewhat adjustable. It's not AR adjustable, but it is somewhat adjustable. The stock that's held in by friction, there's a little pin here. You just push it out, and then you can set it to one of 3 adjustments, which buys you a little bit of length of pull if you need it. And even with the different positions, the gun still folds and locks accordingly. So because the gun is so light, and because you have this massive bolt and these springs moving back and forth, the recoil, as you can see in the shooting footage, is, I'm not going to say extreme, but I will say it is very noticeable and pretty punchy for a 9mm carbine. Most of mine don't recoil or punch this badly. So part of that, I think, is feeling that, again, feeling that bolt right on your cheek. But again, it's just a very small, lightweight gun, and it is direct blowback, so you're getting the full brunt of the recoil. Now again, it's 9mm recoil, so it doesn't recoil that badly anyway, but it is not the most pleasant to shoot. In fact, it's probably one of my least favorite of my 9mm carbines to just go to the range with. Now, the trigger is also, the safety is back here. You see it's quite a big button. The trigger is also pretty, that click is not the trigger going off. It's pretty spongy, a lot of creep, pretty bad trigger. So, not super pleasant recoil, not what I would call a fun recoil impulse, and pretty bad trigger, and fairly low sights make this probably one of the least range friendly of the PCCs, the pistol caliber carbines, that I've ever shot. Now, all that being said, because of the folding capability, which again doesn't require any kind of tools and can be done very quickly, folded and deployed, this actually is, and of course the compatibility with the Glock mags and the reliability that those bring, this actually is my get-home gun. So if I'm traveling or anything like that, this carbine rides with me. So it has been 100% reliable, and I trust it for that purpose. So even though I don't find it to be an especially fun range toy, I think it's perfectly fine for its intended purpose, which is sort of an easily transportable pistol caliber carbine. Now, I know a lot of people probably don't care much for Kel-Tec, and that's totally fine. I have 3 of them myself, and of the 3, 2 of them have had to go back for warranty work. I just happen to have picked up a Sub 2K that was in a recall range because apparently they were having problems with barrels bursting, which is great. So that went back for warranty work. So that took about 5 weeks to get back. I have a PMR 30 that had to go back because it had an out of battery explosion. It didn't hurt me or didn't damage the gun or anything, but it did have to go back. Apparently there is a Gen 2 slide assembly and stuff that wasn't on there, and I got that back in about 2 weeks. So the warranty's been great on these, but again, of the 3, I've had to send 2 back for warranty work, which is not really a good ratio. Misha is not especially a big fan of the Kel-Tec because he's concerned about the longevity, with these being generally very inexpensively made plastic guns. I generally trust them okay, even with the warranty stuff. That's on me, I guess. But plenty of people have them, and plenty of people like them. And like I said, I like this just fine for what its intended purpose is, which is a lightweight, very easily transportable gun that can hold, you know, some Glock mags, and with the extended barrel, give me a little more control and a little more range if I need it. Well, I hope I've not been down on this gun too much. I do think it's very interesting, even though it's not my favorite to shoot or to bring out to the range. I think it's a really interesting design concept, and you know, it's just kind of neat, kind of like having it in the collection. And like I said, I have it for a purpose. Again, I've got plenty of Glock mags and stuff to go around, so you know, compatibility there. I think the warranty is very good on these. So there's a lot to like about them. Again, not my first go-to for a range toy, but that's fine. Not every gun has to be 100% fun to shoot. And of course, fun is very subjective. A lot of people might have these and think that they're just a blast, and that's cool too. So they have these in very many different caliber options, very many different, kind of a little harder to do one-handed, but possible. Tons of different magwell configurations, so chances are whatever sidearm you've got, if it's a very common sidearm, you probably already have magazines in a caliber that this will fit in. So, you know, these things typically can be found for under $400, so not a super expensive option for what its intended purpose is. So, well, this is Jay. If you like this video, please click like. If you have any questions, or if you have any stories about your own Sub 2K, or if you like them, or if you hate them, or whatever it is, feel free to comment in the comments below and let us know what you think. And be sure to like the video. We really do appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't. Go check out our backlog. And if you're interested in helping support us so we can get to the range more often, so Misha can get out here with me a little more often, go check out our Patreon page in the description below. We will see you again next time.